I'd also like to draw the board's attention that we were notified that there was a water test that was, that came back with irregular, very slightly irregular results. And that test was distributed, that information was distributed to the board on February 10th, but the test results were dated December 28th. So I'd like to ask why there was such a delay between the test and being notified when I understand communication was sent out to parents about this.
Yeah, I saw those reports, and they were, the date of the
Test.
printing was December 29th, but they weren't received in the district until,
January or something.
I thought it was February.
I saw late January.
And so I assume they went through the mail. But there's a stamp on their received
Right.
date.
The test results take 2 days.
It doesn't mean they send out the test anyway.
No, there's a stamped received date on those reports.
Then they come, so.
And what is it?
I can see if I can find it.
See
in
if
my
you can
email.
find it. I thought it was late January.
You can keep going if you want.
What will you
Right, and I did ask at the last meeting for the cost of the tripod survey for the teachers, and I was hoping I'd be receiving that information at this meeting.
But the board didn't ask, Donna.
Well, I asked for it, and I think that's sufficient. I've also not received the legal invoices I requested at the last meeting. And I'd like to ask about the extent of the damage at Pollard concerning the flood, and what is the consensus about changing the start time based on the meeting on Monday?
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of loose ends.
Rob?
The date stamp received was February 9th.
Oh, it was the 9th, okay.
And you got it on the 10th? Yeah. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
24 hours.
I don't,
Bad.
it was tested, the date of the report was December 28th. It
We
takes,
didn't, I know, but we didn't receive the test results till February 9th.
So it says date and time received December 23rd, 8:52 a.m. Date printed 12/29. Date received by the district February 9th.
See, there's a
And
lag.
you got it on February 10th.
okay, so the
Safety
point,
meeting.
okay, listen, the point is, the test was done late December, and we're just getting it notified about it mid-February. What's the point of having tests?
They weren't,
Who did the test?
Penachuk,
Routine test.
Penachuk's.
Yeah, they do
Yes, they're
testing.
routine tests. If we're having
was
tests, we
nothing in
need to act on them. 2 months later isn't,
You
it's
can't
6
act on
weeks.
them until you get the report.
They weren't, I didn't think the results were, again, I don't have them in front of me, but the parts per million were,
It was very minimal, and Dr.
Minimal.
Metzler took action.
let them
And he
know.
did the right thing.
Yeah,
But
hey, write that
we
down.
need to be notified in actionable time. That's not acceptable, a 6-week lag from a
It was a
report.
day from when it was
didn't-
received by the district.
Look, I'm just not buying that a test that was done on December 28th got received by the district on February 9th. I'm just not buying it.
But-
If that's the truth, then we should fire that company, and I don't believe that's the case. There is something happening here. Maybe that, it just doesn't make sense. It's a test that takes 2 days,
Well,
How do you know it takes 2 days?
because I called.
you called Penachuk?
On whose behalf?
I called as a member of the public.
And they said it takes 2 days to do your
Yes.
home water versus this whole school district's water.
Right. Okay.
Well, if your test takes 6 weeks, there's a problem.
You have a lot of water.
And again, there's no, see, like, now the public thinks, oh my God, there's something wrong with the water. There's nothing
No.
wrong with the water.
2 parts per million.
It was
Nothing wrong with the
absolutely
water.
minimal.
Yes.
Yet, it was addressed. My point is, we're not getting timely notification of these things. So, could we please have a report on the flood at Pollard?